Are you tired of watered down, weak coffee? Blackout Coffee is bold, fresh, and roasted right here in Florida. Ship fast to all 50 states. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/Haley. Use code Haley for 20% off your first order. Don't settle. Upgrade your coffee now. Thank you to everyone who's joined me in the chat. Welcome to Nightly Scroll. I'm Haley Karania. It's Thursday night, so let's get into it. President Trump has been diagnosed with a chronic venous insufficiency, explaining those viral photos of covered bruises on his hand and swollen ankles. We'll get into it. Plus, KJP, former White House press secretary for Biden, is set to testify in front of the House Oversight Committee in September. Will she be the next Biden aide to plead the fifth? We'll see. An illegal alien dragged an ICE agent with his car as attacks on agents rise to 830% since last year. And a couple of cheaters have been named and shamed after their affair was exposed on the Jumbotron by Coldplay frontman Chris Martin. An extra long scrolling time, blind reactions, and questions tonight. Put your phones on Do Not Disturb. Nightly Scroll starts now. Just a quick reminder before I start that if you want to watch this show, you have to do it on Rumble. Everyone in the chat is already here. Rumble.com/Haley will bring you to the Bongino Report channel. That is where you can watch. That is where you can scroll with all my homies. And then if you want to listen, you can go to your favorite podcast platform. Just search for Nightly Scroll with Haley. Everything helps. Subscribe everywhere. Leave a nice comment. Leave a 5-star review. And make sure that you never miss a show. Okay, so let's get into this health diagnosis. President Trump's health has come into question after these photos of his hands and swollen ankles have gone viral on social media, mostly from Democrat YouTubers, influencers, etc. on the internet. They've been pointing this out. So let's bring this first one up. David Pakman, he's a Democrat YouTuber. Trump's ankles are swollen. His hand is bruised and now covered with makeup. That's not normal. Possible causes: congestive heart failure, IVs, blood thinners. Of course, we have no idea because the most transparent White House ever won't tell us a thing. And we can scroll down here so we can see that there looks like there's some kind of a concealer or liquid foundation on President Trump's hand, and it's not the right color, so it's noticeable. It's noticeable that he's covering something on his hand, potentially a bruise. And then another Democrat strategist also questioned President Trump's ankles. This came into question after he was seen at the World Cup. And you could scroll up just so I can read his commentary there. Swollen ankles at the World Cup, bruised hand at today's press availability. Is the Trump administration hiding the president's health? And then calling on fellow Democrat Jake Tapper, who of course wrote the book Original Sin, all about President Biden's failing health. But of course, he, was Monday morning quarterbacking the entire thing, telling us all about how Biden was failing after the fact and after everyone else knew. Well, the Trump administration is not hiding anything. So here is White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt earlier today addressing these health concerns. Watch this.
On another note, I know that many in the media have been speculating about bruising on the president's hand and also swelling in the president's legs. So in the effort of transparency, the president wanted me to share a note from his physician with all of you today. In recent weeks, President Trump noted mild swelling in his lower legs. In keeping with routine medical care and out of an abundance of caution, this concern was thoroughly evaluated by the White House medical unit. The president underwent a comprehensive examination, including diagnostic vascular studies. Bilateral lower extremity venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed and revealed chronic venous insufficiency, a benign and common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70. Importantly, there was no evidence of deep vein thrombosis or arterial disease. Laboratory testing included a complete blood count, comprehensive metabolic panel, coagulation profile, D-dimer, B-type natriuretic peptide, and cardiac biomarkers. All results were within normal limits. An echocardiogram was also performed and confirmed normal cardiac structure and function. No signs of heart failure, renal impairment, or systemic illness were identified. Additionally, recent photos of the president have shown minor bruising on the back of his hand. This is consistent with minor soft tissue irritation from frequent handshaking and the use of aspirin, which is taken as part of a standard cardiovascular prevention regimen. This is a well-known and benign side effect of aspirin therapy. And the president remains in excellent health, which I think all of you witness on a daily basis here. So the president wanted me to share that note with all of you. I'm happy to take further questions on it.
Long video, but I wanted to make sure you saw her explanation in entirety. So chronic venous insufficiency is the diagnosis, and it is common. Listen, President Trump is old. I don't care how swollen his ankles are, as long as he is sharp up top and anything he's dealing with doesn't impede his service to the country, I'm good with it. You know, after Republicans have made such a stink about the lack of transparency when it came to Biden's health, I think it was smart for the White House to come out and get ahead of it, address it head on. This is what the American people wanted from everyone surrounding Joe Biden, but instead we were lied to. Speaking of being lied to about Joe Biden's health, the House Oversight Committee is not finished investigating Biden's aides, although White House physician under President Biden, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, and Jill Biden's work husband, Anthony Brunel, they have pleaded the fifth, but now it has just been reported earlier that White House Press Secretary under Biden, Karine Jean-Pierre, and others are set to testify. And this is all part of the House Oversight Committee investigation into Biden's mental decline and also physical decline, but who knew what and when did they know it, and who was in charge and who was using the auto pen and who was running the White House, essentially. So Karine Jean-Pierre is set to testify voluntarily on September 12th. When I read this, I'm like, am I impatient? Why not now? She doesn't work. Just get her in there now. Am I the only one who wants to get the show on the road? I don't know. Why does this have to happen in September? Don't know. She's not the only one voluntarily testifying. It is former White House Senior Deputy Press Secretary Andrew Bates, former Special Assistant to the President Ian Sams, and then two prominent Biden spokesmen also set to testify on September 5th and August 21st. So nothing else this month. We got to wait until the end of August and early September to hear from these people. Additionally, White House Chief of Staff Jeff Zients is slated to testify on September 18th. Zients apparently oversaw the Biden White House from February 2023 until the end of Biden's term in January. So he would be a key witness in this investigation, certainly there during the bulk of the decline. And he was also named in an article recently because he was the one involved in these closed-door Oval Office meetings with President Biden where he was telling his aides to use the auto pen. So certainly going to be interesting to hear from them. But just because it's on the schedule doesn't mean these people will not also plead the fifth in the 11th hour, right? Because we saw that Dr. Kevin O'Connor, the White House physician, he was supposed to testify on Wednesday. And this was Wednesday of last week, and he showed up and then pleaded the fifth. So again, now Anthony Brunel, it was on the schedule, pleading the fifth. So just because this is on the books and we think that we're going to get some answers in late August or early September, mid-September, doesn't mean that we're going to get anything. I actually will predict that they will all plead the fifth because it just seems like in keeping with what Biden aides are planning, they don't want this information to get out. They don't want to be incriminated. They don't want to be involved in any of this. So I don't think that, even though the House Oversight Committee wants to get to the bottom of it, I don't think that we will. I don't think that any of these people are going to put their name next to a testimony and, put their hand on the Bible and swear that they're telling the truth if it might incriminate them in some way. So I'm not optimistic about this. I do not think that we're going to get any information, but I want to talk to you about some good news on the border front. First, though, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor for tonight's show, Blackout Coffee. Coffee lovers, this is the good stuff. I have it in my coffee cup right now as we speak. Nice and hot, smooth. Love it. I'm drinking it black right now, and I usually don't drink coffee black. I usually drink it with cream, sugar. I don't even need that. That's how good it tastes. So I don't mess around when it comes to my coffee. That's why I drink Blackout Coffee in the morning. now in the afternoon, now at night sometimes. I used to be a 1 cup of coffee a day girl. Now I'm turning into a 3 cup of coffee a day girl. Not good, but it is good because it's Blackout Coffee. They're a small batch, family-owned roastery right here in Florida. They craft bold, premium coffee that actually delivers on flavor. Whether you like it strong, black, smooth with a little cream, they have got a roast for you. They have got a flavor for you. And guess what? They ship fresh to all 50 states, so wherever you are, you can get your hands on it. And just because you are part of my crew and you scroll with the homies, you can get 20% off your first order. Just use code Haley, that's HAYLEY at checkout, or hit up blackoutcoffee.com/Haley to grab your bag. I love it. I know you will too. Stop drinking weak coffee. Make the switch to Blackout Coffee today. blackoutcoffee.com/Haley. Use code Haley for 20% off your first order. And just a reminder that I have 2 Y's in my last name, so if you want 20% off, you're going to have to spell my name right. So HAYLEY to get your bag. You should do it. Okay, let's get into the good news on the border, because Stephen Miller was on Fox last night and he broke some news that there are 1 million illegal aliens who have already self-deported. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Well, based on the labor force data, so as you know, under the Biden administration, all job growth on net since Biden came into office went to foreigners, e.g., they went to the migrants. Under Trump, all job gains have gone to Americans. Looking at labor force data, we believe there's already been 1 million self-deportations. Wow. So we are well on our way here. If we stay the course, Jesse, and if illegal aliens understand the consequences of staying versus the opportunities of leaving, we're going to see millions and millions more self-deportations. Because if you stay, here's the consequences. You face sudden arrest, sudden deportation. You face the potential garnishment of all of your income, all of your wages, the loss of your property, incarceration and imprisonment for immigration and other crimes. If you choose to self-deport, you can go back home. You do have the opportunity to apply for legal entry if you wish to do so in the future, and you're going to get a $1,000 check on your way out. So this is a very clear choice.
It is a very clear choice, and it seems like 1 million illegals are taking him up and the Trump administration up on that offer, because it's better to get $1,000 and also have the opportunity to come back and do this the right way. A lot of people are self-deporting. It's so funny. I've been seeing a lot of reports from NBC, CNN. They keep interviewing families who are self-deporting, and it seems like they're trying to turn this into a bad thing, when in reality, this is helping them in the long run, because if you take the Trump administration up on this offer, you can come back. If you don't, and you get caught and you get detained and deported, you're not coming back until maybe a Democrat president comes in and undoes everything that the Trump administration did. But like Stephen Miller said, this is a good option. So, and it seems like 1 million already have taken them up on it. And how many months in are we into the Trump administration? Pretty good numbers. So squad member Pramila Jayapal, where is she from again? I meant to look it up and I forgot. Anyway, she has admitted that illegal aliens are mooching off of the government. Of course, we already knew that. She is saying that they are getting taxpayer-funded SNAP benefits. Watch this.
Yesterday, I was at a food bank in my district talking about the SNAP cuts, the horrible SNAP cuts and Medicaid cuts. And they told me that people are not even showing up to Head Start, where they get their food. They're not showing up to the food banks because they're afraid. And it's not just undocumented immigrants. It is people of all legal statuses. It's undocumented immigrants who have been here for 20 years.
Yeah. They're afraid to show up because they think that they're going to get deported. Yeah, you shouldn't be here mooching off of the government. All the more reason for them to join the 1 million who have already self-deported. Lots of illegals overstay their visas, or they never even start the process to become citizens the right way anyway. Some are here for decades, mooching off of the government. SNAP and other welfare programs are not supposed to be long-term. This goes for anyone with any immigration status. I don't care if you're born here, raised here. If you need the benefits in the short term, these programs are for you to help you get back on your feet. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you plan to collect free stuff from the government forever, that's a fairy tale. That is a pipe dream, and the Trump administration is basically delivering these folks the rude awakening that they need. Of course, member of the squad, and she's from Washington State, by the way, so makes a ton of sense there. But of course, she is saying that the Trump administration is ripping away these benefits. Oh, they're cutting SNAP benefits. Oh, what will the illegal aliens do? Hopefully self-deport. And of course, the Democrats' main argument is that Trump's deportation efforts are an attack on minorities. But the reality is they're really focused on criminals. Criminals are being targeted. No color or ethnicity, but just criminals. Exhibit A. ICE has arrested, get this, a white man. This South African man may have an impressive beard, but a scary rap sheet. That is what ICE has posted on X. These people are never upstanding members of society. They have no regard for the rule of law. This is the guy. He has been detained over a DUI, even threats of terrorism. So this just totally exposes the left's narrative that's totally fake and phony, that this is some kind of a white supremacist effort to deport black and brown people or minorities. Totally insane. They're deporting criminals who pose a threat to this nation, and that's Exhibit A. And ICE is doing the Lord's work. But the attacks on them keep coming and they don't stop coming. Attacks on ICE agents. I've reported on this show. Before the LA riots, it was up 400% from this time last year. Then after the LA riots, it was 700%. Now, reporting from DHS, more than 830% from this time last year. This is what they posted on X. And this is a really disgusting story from Allie Bradley, she does wonderful work and reporting on the border. And it's a horrible story, but this is an ICE agent who was dragged down the road for a block by an illegal alien from Honduras. He accelerated his van, and you can see he has this burn and these cuts all down his arm because he was dragged by an illegal alien in his vehicle. Totally, totally disgusting. I can't believe that this stuff is happening, and people on the left don't even have the stones to call it out as being horrible. Like, it just seems like they're so obsessed with pushing this narrative that this is some like racial, attack. But how can you not see this violence and the 830% increase in attacks on ICE since last year and not say this is disgusting? I don't know how you can't call that out. It seems like common sense to me. I feel like Republicans are always calling out acts of violence and things like this, whether it's the right or the left. The Democrats cannot seem to do that. Totally insane. DHS, by the way, headed up by Kristi Noem, they announced last week that TSA was no longer going to have everyone remove their shoes at the airport. Now she is teasing new TSA guidelines. Listen to this.
I just want you to know the day I walked in the door, I started questioning everything TSA does. You still need pre-check because if you want to leave your electronics in your bag and
so that's the
things
only
like that.
Is that the only
There's
reason?
There's a few things, but I will tell you, the liquids, I'm questioning. So that may be the next big announcement is what size your liquids need to be. We're looking at, our scanners. What we have put in place in TSA, a multi-layered screening process that allows us to change some of how we do security and screening. So it still is safe. It is still a process that is protecting people who are traveling on our airlines. But it has to make sense. It has to actually do something to make you safer. I don't think that was questioned under the Biden administration.
Interesting. I love the no shoe thing. I love her teasing that we may be changing the guidelines on what liquids can, the size of the liquids. Little tidbit about me. I used to hate flying. And when I say that, I had so much anxiety. I would really not eat much weeks before I knew a flight was coming up. I was very, very anxious. Going through security made me very anxious. Once I started working in news, I had to travel for work a lot, and just getting those reps in, I kind of was forced to get over my fear of flying because I didn't want to be like anxious in front of my coworkers. I didn't want them to judge me. So it kind of like forced me out of this anxiety, and now I can fly no problem. But it really did bother me when I was younger, like middle school, high school, throughout college, and even after college. That's when I started kind of getting over my fear. But because of this fear, I use water as a crutch. I never go anywhere without water. I have like a irrational fear that I'm going to be stuck somewhere without water. I don't want to be in an elevator without water. That's why I always have a bag with me. I always have water with me. It's just an irrational fear of mine. And the reason why security would scare me so much is because you can't have water. And like having water with me, and I'm sorry, not having water with me would give me anxiety. So then therefore going through security would give me even more flight anxiety.
So frustrations I had traveling when I was touring doing music is I've had my shampoo taken away from me like 4 or 5 times because it like didn't meet some sort of like 5% differentiation. Like who knows? I bet the guy just took it home. I mean, it's like,
yeah.
I hope that she fixes that. That seems a little bit excessive maybe, huh?
Yeah. I mean, what are they nervous about? Like flammable liquids? I don't know.
They just want to make you buy another water on the other side of TSA for $30 more.
Literally what I was just about to say. It's insane, the prices in the airport. You know, a water bottle is however much. I always bring a reusable, and I will fill it up at the airport. But also, one time I got stopped by TSA because I was traveling home to New York for Christmas, and one of my friends gave me a candle for Christmas, and they stopped me. I had to get patted down, all this stuff. I was like, what? Like, it's not a liquid. But they stopped me and they were like, you can't have this. It's too much. Like we don't know what could be in there. And I was like, wax? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, for all the musicians out there, maybe Christy can help us out with getting instruments on planes with some more efficiency. I think that would be a big request of mine.
I mean, music equipment and instruments, but also media equipment. Because anytime that I've traveled for work with coworkers, it's always a pain in the neck with, you know, cameras and tripods and audio equipment and whatever else, you know, we need to bring. It's a pain in the neck. So I'm all for it. Have you ever, this happened to me once, where I was going through security and the TSA agent was like, we need your phone. And they did like a swab of my phone with like some kind of a powder. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, no, totally not.
That happened to me once, and I was so confused, first of all, but I had never heard of that before, and they were looking at me like I had 10 heads. I'd never seen it before. I had to Google it. I was like, this person, I went through security fine, my bag's fine, everything, and they were like, ma'am, we need an extra screening for you, and they took my phone and they swabbed it.
I've never seen that. But one thing I want to do is like,
if anyone in the chat,
can it please be consistent? Can we not be at a regional airport and then have to do 30 things and then be at Hartsfield Jackson in Atlanta and do another 30 things? Like, if it can just be a consistent all over the board, that would be a start, huh?
It would be a start. So when TSA agents swab your phone, they are primarily looking for traces of explosive residue or other dangerous substances. Do I look like the kind of person who would be bringing explosives on a plane? Come on. I'm innocent.
Did they check the 13 portable chargers that you have to carry around to keep your phone charged on a plane?
I just have one. So I don't know. But yeah, Christy Nome, she says that they can still have everyone be just as safe with all of these new TSA guidelines. So I am looking forward to this because then I can bring my water on my phone. On the plane. Hopefully my phone doesn't get swabbed. So I think it's good. All right. This next story, this shocked me. There was a Sotheby's auction and an anonymous bidder spent a whopping $5.3 million on a meteor. It's the largest piece of Mars ever found on Earth. why is this up for auction? I don't know. Like, why wouldn't NASA keep it? I don't know. Like, I don't understand any of this, but there was an auction of rare geological and archaeological objects in New York yesterday. And it is a 54-pound rock. And they named the rock NWA 16788. And it was discovered in the Sahara Desert in Niger by a meteorite hunter in 2023. $5.3 million. This is what we call FU money.
100. That's what I was getting ready to say. I'm totally okay with it because if this dude has the kind of cheese that he can spend $5.3 million on a rock, bless him.
But why? So here's my question. Is this someone who is a scientist and he wants to discover more about it? Or like this is just someone who has bajillions of dollars. He wants this 54-pound rock in his house, and then people can come over and he could say, hey, here's a piece of Mars, and everyone's like, cool, and then they go home and they forget about it.
He has that in his man cave. That's not even in his main. That's not even in the living room or the foyer.
Does
like,
it come
it's
with a
straight
piece
up
of
in his man cave.
paper? Like he needs to have an explanation of what the rock is, like a museum next to it in his house. Otherwise, I'd be like, what is this rock doing? And then he'd be like, trust me, bro, it's from Mars, and I wouldn't believe it.
And then you get on a plane and go to Arizona and
Someone in the chat
sculpt something out and call it the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Someone in the chat said pet rock. Some museum will spend that in a hot second. Right. So this was an anonymous bidder. So is it a museum? Like, would a museum bid on this and spend $5.3 million? To me, I would think that a museum would just automatically get it without having to pay for it. But I don't know how this works. I don't know how auctioneering works. I don't know.
Wouldn't it have to come with some sort of like visual or paperwork or like video of the robot grabbing that thing and bringing it back? Or did it come here in a meteor and blow up? And that's what they said that I need some more evidence and proof on this.
Who has been taking care of this pet rock since 2023 when it landed in the Sahara Desert? Like who had it first?
I'm in the wrong business. I need to get into gallery pieces of art. Apparently, a taped banana can make
millions of dollars.
A rock from out back can be from Mars.
I hope people don't call me, an uncultured swine for saying this, but I really don't like a lot of museums. There's some art that I really respect when it's realistic, when it's very detailed. There are very talented artists out there, so I just want to preface this, but there's a lot of modern art that I can do with my hands tied behind my back. I could do it with my feet, blindfolded. And people buy it for millions of dollars. I'm like, this is insane. This is like my freaking like finger paints from preschool.
It's even getting so lazy now. My favorite ones are the kinds of artists that just don't even walk up to the canvas and paint it. They just throw the art at the canvas. They just said, I'm not even walking up today. I'm just going to throw paint at the wall and call it famous.
I shouldn't have said what I said because actually I think people probably would pay a lot of money for artwork that I make with my feet. Based on some of the DMs I get, I think people would buy that, unfortunately.
Like this artist?
Yeah, Hunter Biden's art. I have seen worse art actually go for a lot of money. I think that, and doesn't Hunter Biden use like a crack pipe to do it too?
That is a treat.
Blows.
That is from a kindergarten class down the road.
It looks like a petri dish.
I know 7 6-year-olds
It looks like
that could paint that right now with their left hand.
It looks like bacteria growing. And he did it with a crack pipe. He blows into a crack pipe and then, it all goes everywhere.
Something cultured under a microscope.
Oh, man. Ugh. I don't know, man. Is Hunter Biden still making art?
Is he still needing cash?
Yes. He's dropping
yes.
He's dropping lawsuits against journalists who expose the Hunter Biden laptop because he can't afford it. He can't afford his lawyers anymore. He can't afford his house. I don't know. It's wild. Totally wild. Anyway, so at this auction, I'm getting totally sidetracked here. At this auction, where this 54-pound piece of rock from Mars went for $5.3 million, that was not the hottest ticket item. There was a rare dinosaur skeleton that stole the show, and it went for, I'm going to let everyone guess in the chat, how much did the dinosaur skeleton go for? What?
I'm just looking at your prompter. This is the first time I've seen it. I know how much it went for.
$30
and I
million.
just gasped loud enough to where you could hear me outside the studio.
$30 million. Who is paying that? $30 million? Who has $30 million for a dinosaur skeleton? And then again, what are you using it for? It's just going in your man cave? $30 million.
A Tyrannosaurus bones outside
I have
of your
I have
house.
$5 in my back pocket. Take it or leave it.
If I had that money, I would buy it for sure.
If you had $30 million, you would spend it on a dinosaur skeleton?
I would, yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You're not going to solve world hunger and give it away to all the poor people like a communist?
Dinosaur.
Dinosaur. All day, every day.
For $30 million, there better be some DNA in them bones so I could Jurassic my neighborhood. Like, I mean, $30 million for some bones? I don't know.
Again, I don't know how this works. Do scientific groups have to bid on this and pay $30 million for it? Maybe. I don't work in this realm, so I don't know. But let's get into some scrolling time. This was the biggest story of the day. A couple was busted at the Coldplay concert. They look like a couple in love. They look like a married couple. The only catch is they are married, not to each other. Watch this.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Oops.
I'm not quite sure.
Oops. Totally called out there. You could see if you're listening and not watching this couple, and maybe you have seen it because it's gone massively viral today, but there's a couple, man holding his lady in his arms at the concert. They're swaying, they're listening to music, they're having a good time until the Jumbotron catches them, and Chris Martin, the lead singer of Coldplay, says, ooh, because she covers her face. She ducks, runs away. He ducks, runs away from the camera. He's like, oh, well, you're either having an affair or you're really, really shy. And it turns out they're having an affair. So the guy on camera, the internet, the sleuths work real quick. And the Astronomer CEO, that's the name of the company, Andy Byron, that was the guy on camera, and his colleague, the chief people officer at Astronomer, Kristen Cabot, that was the couple caught on camera. Like I said, they are both married to other people. And again, the internet sleuths are just crazy how fast they work. People found Andy Byron's wife on social media. She found out, unfortunately. Very sad for her and for their family, of course. Both of their families ripped apart. Hope it was worth it. Hope the Coldplay concert was worth it. Hope the cheating was worth it. You just ruined two families. Insane. But people saw Andy Byron's wife on social media. She has already deleted her last name Byron from her accounts, and then she just deleted her accounts altogether, probably because she was getting spammed with people, probably in support of her. But again, lots to go through in one day, I would say. Someone in the chat said, caught in 4K, sad, really, piece of shit. Totally agree. Totally agree. I hate cheaters. Hate cheaters. But the internet reaction has been quite entertaining. And someone on X wrote this, that it was just the whitest thing ever. Getting caught having an affair with an executive at a Coldplay concert gotta be top 5 whitest things in history. I would agree with that. Coldplay concerts, that's a Caucasian activity. I don't necessarily like Coldplay. I don't listen to Coldplay. They have a few good hits for sure, but I wouldn't go to a Coldplay concert. I would go to a Morgan Wallen concert, and that is another top 5 white person activity, I would say. But yes, getting caught cheating with your mistress at Coldplay concert, bad. Someone else on X posted this, saying his marriage, thank God my marriage never got so bad that I needed to spice things up by taking the mistress to see Coldplay. Again, Coldplay concert, not spicy. If you have to spice up your marriage with Coldplay, not good. Your marriage is like mayo. And then someone else on X wrote this, Coldplay should out people at every concert and just say that they've been cold-played. What is that? Was it a show called Cheaters or something? Wasn't there a show where people would catch their cheating spouses and girlfriends and boyfriends? Am I like going crazy? Show Cheaters. Yeah. Cheaters, yeah. 2000. And there was 24 seasons of it. Love it. I grew up watching Cops with my dad. That was my reality show of choice back then. I loved watching Cops. Probably not appropriate. I was very young, but loved it. And then I watched Cops so much that I wanted to be a cop, but I didn't, obviously. I'm here now. And then this is my last reaction that I just loved so much on here. Telling my kids this was taken at a Coldplay concert, and it's a photo of Jeffrey Epstein holding Ghislaine Maxwell in the same way that the CEO is holding his mistress. All right, we're going to get into, I just wanted to get into that first because that was the most viral thing going on today, but we're going to get into some videos. I've got some blind reactions. If we have time, I'm going to answer some questions. So let's go into the first video for the show. It says, "Hey, right-wingers, don't think of it as an abortion. Think of it as deporting someone who snuck in." That's what it said. That's liberal logic for you. Doesn't make any sense to me. Babies don't sneak into a woman's uterus. They are put there. So that's a really bad explanation, or they're trying to get you, but the logic is not logicking because we have the facts on our side.
I do feel like there's some math missing going on there. A little bit of disconnected thought.
Don't think of it as an abortion. Think of it as deporting someone who snuck in. Yep, doesn't make sense. Thanks for playing. All right, let's go to the next one.
Welcome, Justice Cullen.
Hi, this is Gabriella. I have a client who's a climate activist who's going around to speak at a bunch of different panels with other activists. Due to our schedule and being needed in so many different spots, we need a jet, and we need to figure it out fast.
Okay, can you walk me through like the route of the trip and where you're looking to fly to and from so I can price it out?
Obviously starting in New York, and then we have to go to Virginia, and then to Minnesota.
Where in Virginia and where in Minnesota?
Minneapolis is where
And then back to New York as well?
Yes, back to New York. And we also have a few requirements.
Okay.
There has to be a flight attendant with her.
Okay, now we're flying on like heavy jets and ultra, so G4, G5 and kind of equivalent.
Yep, that's fine. And then only Voss water, because obviously it's glass and that's what she prefers. Only vegan meals prepared and plated by vegans.
Oh, okay. Meaning I need to ensure that the flight attendant themselves is also a vegan because they're the ones serving the food.
Yes.
Okay. And we have like a vegan gluten-free menu that I can send you. It's like 10, 15 pages, so there's plenty of options.
That's perfect.
Got it. I can actually give you a price off the phone. I have this in our system here. One sec. I have a Gulfstream G4. Cost for this, I'm at $56,000 for option 1 on the Gulfstream. For the second option, I have it bigger. It's a Global Express XRS, or at $74,000.
Honestly, that sounds better. We also need to make sure that there's no paparazzi or anything, no pictures taken, because we can't let people knowing this about our
There it
client.
is.
Okay, that sounds great. I will send this over to you and we'll get it locked in. Thanks so much. It's a good thing that private jets are really good for the environment. So.
Lots to break down here. First of all, who do we think this is? Is it AOC and Bernie Sanders flying around on their Fight the Oligarchy tour? Maybe. Is it Greta Thunberg?
Are they vegan?
Maybe.
There we go. We could do this research.
I would think that Greta Thunberg's vegan. I don't think that AOC is vegan. Is she? Look it up. Let's see if she's vegan. I don't know. But this is very telling that a lot of liberals and a lot of climate activists, the ones that fight for things that sound good on paper but don't work, they're so phony. They're so hypocritical. This is a climate activist who claims to care about the environment, but she needs all these special things, right? She needs a flight attendant who's also vegan to serve her the vegan food. They can spend thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars on a jet to fly them all over the place from, where was it? New York, Minneapolis, somewhere else, Virginia.
Yeah, out west. Why do you have to be a vegan to plate a vegan meal? What's the
Great question.
What's the logic of that? I don't care if the cook at Lone Star is a vegan or not and cooking my steak.
Doesn't matter.
I don't understand.
Doesn't matter. But it's totally phony. And my favorite part of the video is that they requested no paparazzi. Why? Because they don't want people to know how phony they are. Ugh! Makes me so mad. They're just so freaking phony. And honestly, I don't care if you fly private. I have flown private for work before, and we've chartered planes before when we have so many people going to cover one event or whatever. But we're not like telling everyone else in the world to go save the planet and recycle their water bottles and whatever else. So I don't care. Like, I don't care if Harry and Meghan fly private. I don't care if John Kerry flies private, but don't lecture everyone else. If you're going to do it, just own your shit. So annoying. All right, what's the next one? We've got a trans woman who said that South Park made her trans.
When did you know that you were different and that you were transgender?
Definitely 12. This story is so stupid. I was really into South Park. And that was kind of like my biggest entryway into like left-leaning politics, which is dumb, but like it talked a lot about trans people for some reason. I was like, oh wait, this is kind of sick as hell. I did more research and I was like, no, that's actually definitely what I am. So thank you, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, I guess.
So South Park is why you transitioned?
Okay, I wouldn't say that. Okay, maybe not that. Oh my God, it opened doors. Is how I'm choosing to look at it. I'm gonna start saying that now. That's so good. Wait, that's really fire. Yeah, sure.
What do you think about Trump putting in that there's only 2 genders?
So that's Savannah Craven. She is undercover. She's wearing a trans shirt, but she is on our side. She's on the good side. But she was interviewing these trans people. What I don't understand is how watching South Park can inspire you to be trans, because they make fun of trans people all the time.
Yeah, and I looked over at Guy, and so she said South Park inspired her to do more research so that she could figure out that she was trans. What research has South Park ever made anybody do?
It's a first. This is why I pulled the video. This is the first I've ever heard of South Park inspiring trans people to become trans or to figure out their identity. I wouldn't want to become the butt of the joke, but this person did. I don't know. It's wild. I wasn't expecting that, really. Wasn't expecting that at all. All right, this next one is a bunch of, I guess, trans women who are standing together against ICE. Jump scare, sorry. 3 trans women. I don't want to bring attention to the elephant in the room, but if we could play that video again, can we just, I don't know if this is like a fupa or there's something else going on down there. It is a trans person. But it just says on the video, trans against ICE. And the caption, I think it said, let me see if I could pull up the caption here. But maybe I can't in time. But they're saying we're now that we have your attention, here are some places you can donate to ICE and whatever. It did get my attention, but I don't want to buy what they're selling. So
that was scary. Like, objectively.
Someone said
that was scary.
Someone in the chat said, WTF does trans have to do with ICE? No, I'm just saying it doesn't, but they're trying to bring attention to it. So I don't know. Does that make you want to donate? I don't at all. Not at all. All right, I have 2 more, but how many blind reactions do you have? 2? Okay, so we've got time. Let's get into it. All right. This next one is a AI video of President Trump that fooled someone's grandma. Watch this. It says, my grandma just showed me this AI video actually thinking it was Trump.
Have a good night. Straight from hell. Straight from Trump. In America.
Where would this have gone down? Where would this have taken place with Ben Stiller clapping it up? President, wouldn't you know?
That's the Academy Awards, I bet.
Wouldn't you know?
That's Oscars.
Wouldn't you know if President Trump had a good voice? Wouldn't we know that by now?
I love the way the AI did that. I mean, he looked like Glenn Campbell
Wait,
up there.
Now that
like
I'm
a rhinestone cowboy up there. He looked so perfect.
Very handsome. He looked like a few years were shaved off. He looked very good.
And that song has been in my head since yesterday, since I got this video.
People are saying in the comments, put her in Congress immediately. Just poking fun at the fact that we have some old folks in Congress that would be fooled by AI. I would agree. Her vote counted just as much as mine. Age restrictions on the internet should go both ways. I think there truly needs to be a test you need to pass to vote. We are so cooked.
Just look at that.
He looks very handsome, and it's gold.
Yeah.
Trump would love this jacket, I think.
Oh, this is where AI wins.
He looks very handsome, and he is very, very talented, I will say. But President Trump, didn't he perform at one of the award shows? And then when he passed the farm bill in his first term, they pulled up that old video. Can we pull that up? Trump farm bill video. Oh, okay. I think it was like an old clip resurfaced. I don't know. It's not coming up. Is this like a Mandela effect? I swear I remember this. Video of Trump performing at award show. Yes. He performed Green Acres at the Emmys in 2006. If you could pull up that video. Maybe we won't have the audio, but people can see that I'm not crazy. He has performed at one of these award shows. So maybe this grandma, she wasn't fooled by AI. It was very believable that President Trump would perform because he is a performer. Here he is performing. There's President Trump with a pitchfork. He's got his denim overalls on. We can't hear him singing, but it's not so far-fetched, actually.
He's all in there as a performer.
He's all in.
I mean, he's dedicated. I'm impressed.
President Trump is a showman. There's one thing you cannot take away from him. President Trump, he will put on a show. He knows how to put on a show. And yeah, so you know what? Justice for Granny. Justice for Granny. All right, we've got one more video until we get into the blind reactions. Let's get into it.
I'm Scout. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm an interdisciplinary major at UBC. I'm in my last semester. My primary thematic focus is decolonizing academia and public knowledge systems. And
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but it's going to be regular milk, please, and I'll do that hot. And then can I add the sugar-free vanilla syrup for an extra 50 cents? Thanks. Yeah, it's going to be for Tyler.
Exactly my point. My name is Scout. I don't think that she was born with that name. Goes by they, them pronouns. Again, whatever that means. But interdisciplinary, what was she studying?
What she meant to say is, hello, my name is Scout. I have $100,000 in debt. Welcome to Starbucks.
100%. I just Googled interdisciplinary studies majors. You could study gender studies, which I'm sure this person is studying. Maybe they're trying to figure out what's wrong with them. They can study anthropology, neuroscience, health, global studies, American studies, Black studies. What can you do? Here's a question. What can you do with an interdisciplinary studies degree? Too long, didn't read. You're going to work at Starbucks. Anyway, let's get into the blind reactions.
All right, this one just blew me away. Like, I cannot understand what in the world this lady is thinking. So any help would be appreciated.
Okay.
What
We're just
you.
not gonna go see the world?
Yeah, you're just not gonna go see the world. You said it. You figured it out.
We're just not gonna go see the world because
you're not gonna go see the world.
Our credit cards just manage our lives.
Wait, what?
Yes.
No.
Well, what's the? Then what are we doing here?
You're supposed to help us.
In what way? I'm not a magic pill, buddy. If I say, hey, maybe you can't do a luxurious vacation once a month, and that's why you're in debt.
Okay, first of all, it's not even once a month.
Shut the f*** up. If I just give literally the most basic thing and tell you to cut out the most expensive thing that maybe you do once a year instead, max, which I wouldn't even do, I'd get out of f***ing debt, then maybe you'd be willing to cut that back. You have to be receptive. If you're sitting at this table, you have to be receptive, or I'm not f***ing filming.
I am receptive. I just don't agree with your logic.
Please explain.
I mean, everybody has debt.
No.
Yes.
No.
Everybody has debt,
No.
and we're just not gonna go see the world.
Yes.
And not go travel just because
Yes.
credit cards have to be
Oh
paid.
my
You have to go make memories. You have
Shut
to go make memories. What are you gonna do? Just stay in your house and fucking work all the time?
No,
Literally?
Oh my gosh, buddy.
Is that what you do? Is that where you're just so miserable all the time?
Okay, so this girl complaining has $400,000 in credit card debt, but she is arguing that she still should be able to travel the world and go on luxurious vacations. Hell no, you can't. No, you can't. She said, well, how am I supposed to make memories? Go to work, go get a second job, go get a third job and make memories there.
What's her credit score? I mean, she
Zero?
has to live in a van down by the woods.
People in the chat don't believe it. Obviously a skit. This has to be a joke. Nobody's that stupid. People are that stupid. Have you seen the people that call into Dave Ramsey's show?
100%.
And they're
they
like,
are that stupid.
why do you have 3 cars and $600,000 in student loans and like all this stuff? People are that stupid. Genuinely.
Unreal.
Who do we think she voted for?
I mean,
she's entitled to luxurious things and she doesn't want to work.
well, I'll tell you if she lives in New York, I'll tell you who she'd vote for.
The dude who eats with his hands.
Interdisciplinary student.
Yeah, seriously. All right, let's see the next one.
I think you can relate to this one.
Okay. Girls and their emotional support water bottles. Exhibit A. Yeah, this is my emotional support water bottle. I know you're making fun of me because it's large, but here's the thing. I only have to fill it up twice a day. You would actually, when I worked at Newsmax, I would have a full gallon jug and I would fill it up and people hated me. They hated to see me coming because if I was going to the water fountain, they knew that if they were behind me, it was going to be a while before they got there.
He was literally carrying around a trash can, and then he went to a picnic table and he threw the trash can up onto the picnic table.
I know.
That was brilliant. That was just brilliant.
Yeah, I know it looks ridiculous, but listen. And you know what's even more ridiculous? My trainer, if he's watching this, sometimes he watches the show, he will tell me, he tells me to drink water bottle all the time, drink water, more water. I don't watch, I don't drink water. Like I carry this around, but I'm not drinking it as much as I should.
What do you got? Mountain Dew in there?
Mm-mm. Just water.
I will say
Water
this
and
and tell me
ice?
if this is true. I mean, the money, the even money is that if you have one of those things, ladies will have 500 Stanleys. It's like they don't just have one. There's like 400 Stanleys everywhere. Is that a hot take, or do you think that?
No, there are people who collect them, and that's bizarre. I have a reasonable amount. I had one Stanley, and then I left it at a golf course, lost it. And so then that's why I bought this one. And I wash it and I reuse it. I don't have, 5 that I'm rotating. So I think I'm pretty reasonable with my water bottle. All right, I've got time for some questions, so let's get into it. I put them on my Instagram story maybe yesterday. So if you submitted one yesterday, I'm going to answer some of them here. If you have any in the chat, Andy and Guy can give them to me in my ear. Someone asked, Haley, will you interview Riley Gaines in studio if possible soon? Well, I reached out and no is the short answer. Not that she wouldn't do it, but her PR person didn't get back to me. So I would love to, but probably not going to happen. Okay. How much can you bench press? And someone asked me this morning. I had never bench pressed in my life. I had never done it before, so I did try it, and I posted the video on my Instagram stories. If you want to see my first attempt ever, it's on there. I benched 65 pounds for a 1 rep.
So more than the bar.
Yes.
Okay.
More than the bar. The bar was easy, and then I can only do 1 rep with 10s on each
Well,
side.
if the bar was easy, the bar weighs 45 pounds.
Yeah, but I usually do 25s with just dumbbells. So I knew that I could do the bar, but someone in the chat said women don't need to bench press. I'm 31 years old. I hadn't bench pressed yet. But I did it for whoever asked that question. Someone asked for an update on the gecko. Guy, if you would like to provide the update from today. I have not seen the gecko, but there are baby geckos that have been spotted in the studio. So you want to provide the update?
Do you have the video on your phone? Maybe we can zoom in on that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Please hold.
So it seems the gecko had offspring.
All right, zoom in. Jasmine caught the gecko or the little lizard with her hands. So there is a baby in the studio earlier today. Crazy, right? So it's not just the big one on the wall. We've got more. I haven't seen the little ones, but they are here to stay, I guess. Someone asked me, am I Italian? Yes, I am. Just a little bit, though. I don't know the exact percentages because I am not going to give my DNA to Ancestry.com or 23andMe or anything like that. Not going to do that. But yes, Italian, Irish, English, German, French, a little bit of everything.
White. That's all of them.
Basically white. Someone asked me my favorite Pixar movie. Pixar movies. I always get them confused because there's Pixar, there's DreamWorks. Monsters, Inc. is Pixar. I like that. The Incredibles. Love The Incredibles. I was Mrs. Incredible for Halloween one year. I've never seen Up. I should watch that.
The first 5 minutes of Up will absolutely tear a person apart. Like, it is the saddest
Finding Nemo.
5 minutes ever. Have you not seen Up?
No.
I mean, it's
Remember, I don't
It's
have children, and I haven't babysat in a while, so I have no reason to watch animated films.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You should just totally sit down and kick your feet up with the cat and watch it. But the first 5 minutes are like really sad and Up, like tears, sad.
I don't think I want to watch that then. I don't think I want to watch that. Ooh, someone in the chat said A Bug's Life. That is, that's a great movie. I like that one. What is Shark Tales? Remember that movie, Shark Tales? Is that, oh no, that's DreamWorks. I just get them all confused. I don't know. what inspired you to get into political podcasting? I think just working in news. I started in local news and that was totally boring. And I knew I wanted to do something bigger. So then I got a few internships at Fox News, I think 3 or 4 internships there. Then they hired me after college, started working in advertising. Then I moved over to Hannity and then I went over to Newsmax. And when I was at Fox, I did some field producing. So I was out with reporters in the street and I would grab the people that they were going to be interviewing and I would kind of prep the people in the street like, hey, what do you think about this? And then we would have a conversation and I'd say, okay, great. Can we do this on the camera over there with the reporter? And I thought to myself, if they just gave me a microphone, I could just do this. Like, why don't I just do it? So when I went to Newsmax, I did some on-air reporting, did some man on the street stuff, absolutely loved man on the street, interviewing people. That is my bread and butter, loved. Then when I went over to Outkick, I did more of that in Nashville, loved it. I do miss that a lot. But yeah, I got into it basically because I was working at Fox. I was helping all of these people behind the scenes and I thought, well, why don't I just do it myself? So anyway, here I am. Someone asked me, did you see the new Superman movie and what are your thoughts? What is the drama with the Superman movie? I haven't, you have to fill me in.
Well,
apparently it's woke or something.
The director, I think his last name is Gunn. He basically stated in an interview that Superman, well, he's an immigrant. Like Superman's an immigrant. He comes from another country. He's an immigrant into this country.
Does?
And so yeah, I mean it's just sort of a woke comment that had a bunch of backfire. And so it just got a lot of eyes rolling. And so I think ultimately Superman fans, which I don't watch of those kind of superhero movies, but a lot of people are saying that it's just mid. It's like decent at best. So it's not doing great at the box office. Plus it had some political shenanigan to it.
I'm not the biggest superhero movie gal. I'm not into that kind of thing. I've seen some of them, but I wouldn't go to watch Superman. I haven't been to the movies in a long time, actually. But is Superman actually an immigrant? Like, I don't know the backstory.
Well, technically, he's a refugee because his planet is getting blown up. And he has to flee his planet to stay alive. And he's sort of adopted on Earth by 2 parents that raise him. I do not know how I just knew that.
So he's an asylum seeker with
I completely don't know where that
claim.
came from.
Okay, so he's a legitimate asylum seeker then.
Yeah, he's a refugee.
Well, this doesn't shock me that some woke director would make it all about Trump and deportations and all that stuff. Am I going to go watch the movie? No. So... But I also, that's just because I'm not into that. I wouldn't not go see the movie because the director said something woke. I mean, all Hollywood is woke for the most part, so that doesn't stop me from going to watch movies and everything. But yeah, it's not on my list. So anyway, thank you all for joining me tonight. Everyone in the chat, thank you. If you want to join everyone in the chat, you got to do that. Rumble.com/Haley is the only place you can watch the show. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Follow me at Haley Carania on most social media platforms, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye.